What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Stay Fresh production. Hope I don't hit my head on this thing here. Welcome back to the third installment of Blitz Reviews. This is basically a series where I just take a particular fragrance and I try to quickly tell you about it and tell you if I think it's worth picking up. Today we're talking about two fragrances. You've already seen it in the title. We have Mugler Cologne and I have a decant here of Creed's original Vetiver. Now these two fragrances are in the same vein in terms of their identity, in terms of their scent character. They're often regarded as smelling exactly the same, being the exact same type of fragrance. So we're gonna dissect that just a little bit. First of all, which one is the original? This is original Vetiver, this is Mugler Cologne. Do you already know? If you didn't, Mugler Cologne is actually the original. This came out in 2001, while Creed's original Vetiver was released just 3 years later in 2004. Which one's original? So really quick, when I first smelled this one, because this is the one I smelled first actually, it was nice, but I wasn't crazy about the scent character. Honestly, it reminded me of a wet paper towel, like the smell that has. But when I actually wore it on my skin and tried it a few times, I actually began to like it a whole lot more. Now, while these two fragrances are very much similar, there are some subtle differences in there. So what I get to my nose, original Vetiver starts off a little bit creamier in a sense and maybe a little bit deeper. And I think a lot of people often say that about this fragrance in comparison to Mugler Cologne. But that's something that you get if you really trust, get your nose in there and smell it close. It does come off with more smoothness to it than Mugler Cologne, which has a bit of a spiciness to it to my nose. I haven't really absorbed the notes to each of these fragrances, so I can't tell you exactly what that might come from, but that's the vibe that I get. So this comes off smoother, this comes off a little bit more bold, but not necessarily stronger per se. Right up the top, you're gonna get the same vibe in the air. The whiffs that you get of each one are gonna be very much the same. This kind of green, light, soapy, and clean, fresh vibe. It kind of smells like soap. That's kind of what these fragrances were designed for people who don't really like to wear fragrance. You mostly smell like you just got out of the shower, and it's really nice. After about an hour, the fragrances begin to die down into basically the same thing. And one thing I want to point out is that these fragrances don't really give off so much of a scent to me. You smell it in the air and a little bit when you move around, and people might pick it up too if they're close to you, but they more give off of a vibe. That's what they kind of give off. It's more of a nuance of a fragrance that kind of surrounds you as you wear it. And it's really interesting. It's very fleeting. It comes and goes to my nose. Sometimes I pick it up. Sometimes I'll be outside and I don't smell it at all, but it's just kind of the magic of this type of scent character. Once they get into that dry down phase, which is again about an hour in, green, soapy, light, fresh. That's what both of these become. As they get further down into the dry down, they become closer together. Now at that point, they stay that way, basically to the end of the scent, this kind of green, light soapiness that you get all the way to the end. A lot of people claim, at least I think out of original Vetiver, to get really great longevity, like long lasting. I see that on Fragrantica and base notes and things like that. Honestly, for me, these are very average, both of them, and they're both kind of the same. I get about 5 to 6 hours of longevity. And projection, if you want to say that's a thing with these, I maybe get up to an hour where you can really smell it around you. Other than that, it dies really close to the skin. So performance isn't great, but honestly, that's what I would expect from this type of scent character. So ultimately, both of these fragrances are great. I love them both. They have these subtle differences if you really want to look for them, but they are very much the same. So which one should you get? You have Creed, which is known for the quality of their ingredients and the quality of the blends of their fragrances. And then you have Mugler, who's also a great house, but definitely more, a designer house, of course, with more inexpensive fragrances, maybe lesser quality materials, and if you want to say that. So which one should you get? Well, Mugler Cologne, you can probably find this discounted online for between $30 and $40 in that range. Creed's original Vetiver, you can probably find this discounted for about $140, I'd say at the least. And I think retail is over 400 bucks for a 120 ml bottle. So I would just go with Mugler Cologne. This is nice to have. I'm glad I have a decant. I basically use this as a travel atomizer for this because they're basically the same. If I put this on for the day, then I'll take this with me if I need to reapply. So that's all I use this for. Otherwise, save your money, get Mugler Cologne, pass on original Vetiver. Mugler did it first anyway. It's a cheaper fragrance, but it doesn't smell cheap. It's a great quality, and you're gonna get basically the same thing as you would from the Creed. So that's my final verdict. Let me know what you guys think of either of these fragrances in the comments. Let's talk about it. Thank you so much for tuning in. I also want to give a big thank you to all of you guys who have recently subscribed. I don't remember the last time I did a check-in in terms of subscriber count, but we are at over 4,300 subscribers. I was just checking back in the archives. Back in November of 2016, I had 40 subscribers. Now we're at over 4,000. This is just like 7 months later. So I'm blown away. Thank you. Keep sharing my videos with your friends. Let's keep talking about fragrances. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Let's stay connected. Peace. See you guys in the next one.